Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. I have been using Linux for about a year now, coming over from Windows, but I was also a Mac user as well. I'm one of those what I would like to call operating system agnostic people. At least I was. You see, now here we are a year later, and I don't think there's enough money in the world to make me go back to Windows. And I probably could be convinced to use Mac OS again, but I don't think it's going to actually replace Linux for me. I think Linux is now my daily driver. So I work in academia. Let me tell you all the things that many people have asked me since I moved over to Linux, what I like, what I don't, and is this something you could realistically use? Not only as an academic, but like as a normal person as well. So first and foremost, this is my desktop. People seem to think that if you're using Linux, you have to do everything with terminal. That is not the case at all. You don't need to use terminal all that much. In fact, the times that I use terminal, let me show you what terminal looks like here. I should probably put my keyboard where I can actually reach it. So let's take a look at what terminal is, okay? When I open up terminal, it looks like this, no Pop OS. This looks scary for Windows users and Mac users probably because we don't use terminal hardly ever in those. Here on Linux, we use it sometimes, but I would argue that maybe you could probably use Linux with a modern Linux distribution without ever having to use terminal. In fact, I almost never use terminal. I can think of maybe 2 times that I did it. So do you need to use terminal? Maybe. Should that scare you? No. The reason is that LLMs understand Linux really well because it's well documented. So anytime I've had a question about what do I need to do, I can simply go to whatever your favorite LLM is and search for it, and I get a response pretty quickly and pretty easily, and it's usually right. I haven't had many problems getting information. The only thing you have to specify typically is what distribution you're using or what base version of Linux are you using. So if we take a look at Linux, it's probably intimidating the first time when you're trying to choose a distribution to go with. So with Windows, you get Windows, right? In Linux, there are a lot of them, okay? So let's take a look at this chart. I'm not gonna open it because it's absolutely huge. Each one of these lines represents a different distribution. But in the big scheme of things, there's a few big ones that you should be aware of, okay? So let's take a look at the list over here on the left. The first one is Debian. This is pretty common. We also have Ubuntu-based ones that are pretty common. You'll see things that are based on Arch. You see Arch a lot mentioned on YouTube and things like that because a lot of people really want to be like on that cutting edge, and I don't know. I don't look into Arch, so I don't know much about it. It's whatever. But here's my point. Oh, I forgot Fedora. I'm sorry. For all the Fedora fans out there, I'm sorry I forgot you. It was a little farther down here. And then there's a bunch of other ones that are smaller, don't have it. And when I say smaller, I just mean you don't see as much online about them. An example would be OpenSUSE. I see that sometimes, but not as often. So here's the thing. Don't let this overwhelm you, okay? Because when you look at this, like let's say you want to have one based on Ubuntu, okay? What does that mean? You look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, there are so many versions. How do I pick which one? My advice, don't overthink it, okay? So I think it kind of depends a little bit on what you want to do, because one of the big things that you'll find is NVIDIA drivers can be kind of annoying with Linux, depending upon your distribution that you go with. So knowing that I wanted to do AI and I wanted to play video games, that was one of the big things I needed, I needed Linux drivers just to work, and that's why I ended up using Pop OS. Now, Pop OS, let me pull up their website so you can see what it looks like. All right, so when we go to Pop OS, this is what their website looks like. It's made by System76, right? So first of all, it's free. Second of all, at least the version that I downloaded, I'm not currently using the most recent version of this. Mine's based on Ubuntu 22, and that's just because that's their current one when I started using Linux. They do have a new one now, but here's the thing. You don't have to go to the new version, right? Like if you think about some of the other OSs out there, some of them like force you to move. I'm not being forced to move. They have a new version, and like I don't think I've even seen in like a pop-up for it. Okay, so I really like Pop OS. I think it's probably a good one for people to start with. Other ones that I know I've seen people be really happy with starting out on Linux is Linux Mint, and I've also seen people really happy with Bazzite, and Bazzite tends to be more of like gaming oriented people really like Bazzite, but I can't really speak to any of those. I can only speak to Pop OS because that's what I use literally every day. And I will mention that I do also use base Ubuntu on my virtual machine that I run, and that's been good too. I would have no problem recommending base Ubuntu or Pop OS. I've been really happy with both. So my point here is don't spend more time than you need getting lost in all the different distributions and different kinds of Linux, blah blah. Pick one that seems to meet your needs and go from there. And like I said, base Ubuntu, Pop! OS and Bazite are the ones that I know a lot of people use, and they seem pretty happy with them. Mint is also a good one. From what I've heard, like I said, I haven't used it. Started with Pop! OS, was happy with it. When I set up my virtual machine, I went with Ubuntu because that's what Pop! OS is based on. I'm happy. I don't feel the need to hop between distributions. Maybe if you start getting into Linux, you will, but I don't feel that way. I'm just happy with it. So one of the things that I mentioned in a previous video was one of the reasons that I liked Pop! OS and this look and feel is that, to me, it's kind of a hybrid between the great things about Windows and the great things about Mac OS. So for example, I really like the floating dock down here at the bottom, which tended to be more of a Mac OS thing. At least when I moved over to Linux, this was definitely more of a Mac OS thing. Windows was still, having the start button over on the left with the little search bar and all that sort of silliness that I don't really prefer. But let me show you the biggest thing, or tell you the biggest thing, okay? So first of all, there's no tracking that I'm aware of with Pop! OS. I believe that the telemetry is disabled on it by default. With Ubuntu, if you want to turn off telemetry, there's a really easy button to just turn off anonymous telemetry. I don't think that's the case with Windows and Mac, but I don't know because I'm not using them anymore. The other thing that I want to mention here is there's no ads, right? Like on Windows, anytime I would open my start menu, I'd see these stupid ads for things. And look, I don't have like a start menu per se on Linux, right? What I do have is all my applications listed right here, right? Like all my applications are right here. Oh, so that reminds me, one of the questions that my friends asked me is, can you play video games? Yeah, you can play video games on Linux. It's not really that hard. I have Steam running on here. You can see I have The Last of Us Part 1. I've been playing that. It's been a lot of fun. So let me open up Steam. I'll show you that Steam works. So the other thing that I'll mention here is, how some of the others, Windows, Mac, they have I think on Mac it's called Finder. I don't know what the equivalent thing is called on Windows when you're trying to search for something. So what I really like is when I press on my keyboard, it's my Windows key, it pulls open this search and it just finds what I need without any silliness. So if I'm like, I want to find Steam, let's launch Steam. And I'll tell it to launch Steam, and it will usually do it. Steam's a little bit odd in the sense of I usually have to actually click the button from here in my applications menu before it starts up, and I think it's because it runs in the background. There we go. Okay, so you can see Steam just takes a minute. It's always taken a minute on my system to get Steam running, but that's literally the only app that I have that takes a minute to get up and going. No idea why that happens with Steam, but I'm not worried about it because when I play video games, it's like I just open it up, I wait, 10, 15 seconds, and then Steam opens. So here we go. Steam updates, everything runs. The only thing that I've set up different here is I had to set it up so that it runs off what's called Proton Experimental. So I'll go to my libraries real quick and go to The Last of Us. And if you see here, if you go into Properties, you can go to Compatibility, and you can change it to Proton Experimental. That is literally the only thing that I did to get games working, and really this is the only game I play through Steam right now. I also have Armor Reforger. That works, but I don't think I can play multiplayer. So if your game has kernel level anti-cheat, it's probably not going to work on Linux, but you can just check, just go to the web, search it, and find out. Look up Linux compatibility for games. The Call of Duty, for example, I don't think will work on Linux because it needs kernel level anti-cheat from what I remember. But I also play Overwatch on here. That worked fine when I was still into that game. Literally no major problems at all running Steam games on Linux for me. Okay, so what about work? Well, if you guys are like me, the vast majority of my work these days is through online writing that's collaborative with things like Overly for using Google Docs and all that sort of stuff. That all works fine. It's the internet, right? Search the internet, no problem at all. I run Chromium, and I also have Firefox, and I also have Brave on this system. All of it just works, no real issues. So let's address the next thing, which is how do you get programs on a Linux computer? Well, all the distributions I'm aware of have something similar to this, which is a little shop, right? So similar to the Windows Store, the Mac Store, whatever you want to call it, depending upon your operating system. The difference is on Linux, there's multiple ways that you can actually install a program. So when I open this is on Pop! OS. This is called the Pop Shop. And here, these are called Flatpaks. Now, I'm not going to get into the difference between a Flatpak and an app image and a .deb file and all of that sort of stuff. That's really beyond the scope of this. But what I think you should know when you go into using Linux is there's a lot of different ways to install programs, and none of them are hard, right? So let's think about actual work, okay? So with my actual work stuff, what do I need? I need stats. What do I use for stats? I use either R, which has Linux version, or I use JASP. And JASP works on here. They have a flat pack for it. All I needed to do was click the install button, and like if you want to see that it works and it looks the same, I'll just click open and look. Now we have stats. It's the exact same way that it looks on Windows and Mac and all that. Literally no problem at all with any of my statistics stuff. What about writing? I use LibreOffice Writer. Personally, I haven't had any issues with compatibility or anything like that. Everything just works. What about PDFs and dealing with PDFs? Well, I found this program recently that is called PDF Arranger, and it is actually a flat pack. Let me show you what this looks like if you were to go try and get this app today. And so this PDF Arranger app has worked pretty great for me. It's been a little bit more flexible than, for example, what's it called on Mac? I think Mac generally handles the PDFs a little bit better than Windows in terms of like moving pages and things like that. But I've been able to do similar PDF Arranger, haven't had any issues. So when I was looking for it, I was trying to find a program that would deal with PDFs, and all I did was go into the pop shop and search, and I saw merge, shuffle, and crop, and I was like, well, that's exactly what I need to do most of the time, so I'm just going to grab that one, and that's the one that I ended up using, and it's been quite useful. Haven't really had any issues with it. Oh, okay, I guess that's something I can say. You can customize like everything under the sun with Linux, okay? So I have all my desktop icons hidden right now. I usually have a bunch here. I just hit them using this extensions thing. This is built in, and it lets you turn on and off a whole bunch of options. But with a lot of distributions, just about anything that you want to customize, you can. So one of the things that I liked is I liked this dock, and I liked it at the bottom. But if you want to move to the side or the top, or you want to make it so that it auto hides, so like let me open this, you can see that when I have programs open, it auto hides and goes away, right? But all I got to do is move the mouse down to get it back. You can set up all sorts of keyboard shortcuts and all of these other really fun things. Now, the next thing that you may be wondering about is all these different apps. So I'll just go across them and I'll show you. Chromium is a flat pack. Firefox is a flat pack. Spotify is a flat pack. Slack is a flat pack. OpenWebUI, this is a PWA, Progressive Web App. Same thing with Google Calendar and Outlook. All those are PWAs. Lemonade I have installed via Docker. Planify is a nice little project management type app that's also a flat pack. LibreOffice Writer is also a flat pack. OBS Studio is also a flat pack. Steam, I think Steam is also a flat pack, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. So there's a number of ways you can do this, and they're all just like any other program. The only thing that's more annoying, in my opinion, than it was on Windows is if you want to create a PWA, it's kind of a multi-step process to get it to actually show up in your applications here. So here's the thing at the end of the day. What do I like about Linux? It just works with the way that my brain works. If I had to summarize my experience with Linux so far, I would just say it's just good. Things just work. And I know that it's going to seem a little bit scary. So like the thing that you have to remind yourself of is you are learning a new system, right? You're learning a new operating system. It's like going from Windows to Mac or vice versa. There's going to be things to learn because things just work a little bit differently, and you need to go into it with that open mind. I will say one of the things that I know people really like, they like the ability to have everything connected. So with Pop! OS, it's really easy. So they have calendar integration, all of that sort of stuff built in. All you do is log in with your accounts if you want to. You don't have to by any means. And all of it's just there. So do I think people should try Linux? Yes. If you're unhappy with, any of the things happening on Mac and Windows, I think it's worth trying Linux. Will I go back to Mac or Windows? No, probably not. I don't see myself going back. Do I want to distro hop to other ones? Like, do I want to try and move everything over to go to the newest version of Pop! OS or try out Fedora or Arch or any of those things? Well, I can tell you I have no interest in Arch whatsoever, personally. Like, Bazite, not really that interesting. Now, SteamOS I am interested in, but not necessarily for like my work PC. I think it might be kind of fun for if I had like a dedicated gaming PC. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking there so I don't ramble on forever. But if you can take away one thing from this, it's that I have really enjoyed my year with Linux. I think most people, if they actually went into it with the perspective of, yes, I'm going to have to learn how to do a few things, but it'll get me a new operating system. Like I'd have to do that if I moved to Mac from Windows, or I'd have to learn Windows if I was moving from Mac. So like if you're interested in it and you're open-minded about it, I think you'll probably end up liking it. A lot of things just work, and they work well. One final thing that I'll answer here is my friends ask me like, how often do I use Windows? Because I do have Windows on a hard drive in my computer still. Well, in the last year, I have literally gone into that hard drive one time. And I've since found a way to resolve that problem that I was having. So the issue that I had was I wanted to do some stuff in Word that I couldn't figure out how to do in LibreOffice. Long story short, I found out how to do it in LibreOffice just as easily. So I have not opened my Windows hard drive in a year, and I'm getting to the point now where I am very strongly thinking about wiping it and just using it as extra storage for my Linux side, because I don't see myself going back. So that said, I hope this has been useful for you. I'm sorry it's a little bit more of a long-winded ranty type video than I would normally do, but hopefully you learned some things about Linux and saw the interface here, saw some of the interactions. You see that the App Store and the applications, it's not anything crazy. It's just relatively easy, straightforward, no stress. So that said, thank you guys. If this has been helpful for you, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.